Hello, so I'm gonna in this video talk a little bit about setting up your After Effects projects. Just if you're starting from scratch and getting ready for our first project. So let's see. I just downloaded what is now the latest version of After Effects, which is 2022. Um, you can kind of control which version you're running of all these different programs in this little Creative Cloud zone. And when I open it up, I get this kind of window, which is showing me new toys that we have to play with. And that's nice. I'm just going to close this and hit New Project. All right, so here we go. There's nothing in here. So I'm going to just create a composition. And I'm going to use HDTV 24. So for this, pretty much for anything in this class, we're going to just assume it's going to be 1920 by 1080. That's a HD frame at 24 frames per second. There's other frame rates. In broadcast, there's 2997. In Europe, it's 25. But for us in this class, we're going to just stick with 24. For this first project, our tests are, or our little synchronicity experiments are going to be 10 seconds long, so I might as well set that now. And I like to just give things names. So we're going to call this AV00. So composition A, I don't know really anything about it other than it's just distinctive, and we have a version of that comp. All right, so here's what we got. Nice black frame. So the first thing we want to do for this project is all about syncing to time and using a grid and just having control over positioning and basic animation and After Effects, and just working with precision in time and space. All right, so let's look at some preferences. We want to work on a grid in this project. It's kind of an important component of this, and there's just a few other settings we should just kind of be aware of in general on After Effects. So to get there, I'm working on a Mac. If any of you are on a PC, the preferences are going to be at the bottom of the edit menu, but I'm going Preferences, General. We're going to change default spatial interpolation to linear. That just sounds like gobbledygook. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that a bit later, but for now, just hit that little box there. What else? I think good. Display. Let's just change that to all keyframes. All right, and then this is the meat and potatoes here. So we are going to be working in a grid. We are going to divide our 1920 by 1080 frame, 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, which has the aspect ratio of 16 wide by 9 tall. We're going to divide that into 16 units and 9 units. And the math to do that is 120. If you divide 1920 by 120, you're going to get 16. And if you divide 1080 by 120, you're going to get 9. And then we're going to have 2 subdivisions per unit. All right. If we want to see that, we hit Command quote. All right, and that has set up our nice grid, and we can turn it on and off like that, which is lovely. And now that we got our kind of thing set up, we have to save this. I'm going to hit save. Go. All right, so this is the first time we're talking about any of this stuff, but this is really important. So I personally I work out of Dropbox. I have my personal folder. I have my business. each project is organized by client, and then there's a whole crazy folder structure of admin stuff and assets and yada yada yada. So, but for you, what I would do is wherever you're saving your work, um, and I really think you should have like uh, some kind of cloud backup and an external hard drive and whatever, wherever you're saving it. Let's imagine for this little demo here. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's put this on a nice spot. So we're gonna say Mecca Spring 2022. I'm gonna have a folder named after project for you. Let's just one ethnicity spelled wrong. It's all right. uh, and where did that go? Oh no! Get out of the way. The support center. Okay, so we're gonna call this something helpful. Ethnicity, and then the version, which I always start at 00. I can explain why I use 00 and not 01 when we if we get to arrays, but for now I'm just going to say 00, and then I always like to put my initials at the end of things, and I think that's just a good habit. Well, okay, versioning your work is critical, absolutely super duper important. And then having your initials at the end is nice, especially if you're working in a team environment, which, if you get into animation, is often the case. It lets you know who was the last person that touched it. All right. So I'm going to save it. I'm actually going to make one new folder, and I'm going to call this assets. So as we get audio and whatever we want to kind of put into this project, we're going to stick it in there. But our main file, we're gonna put um, at the root. A D. Okay, there we go. Boom. And that's our base. Okay. I'll see you in a bit.